What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. You know, I really wish that when I moved back to Australia, I didn't just, I needed a car really quickly, and so I just found like a cheap Subaru that I just was like, yeah, sweet, I can just grab that straight away. And I really wish I just bit my tongue a little bit and just went and bought a van. I told myself I wanted a van, didn't buy a van, but anyway, this is my process of getting my bike into my car because I bought a sedan instead of a van. Should have bought a van. I'll be buying a van soon. When that happens, there's gonna be a full van series of me doing the van up and stuff like that, but that's like well away. Let me get this bike. It's really not that bad, but like I have left my tire at the trailers before, so I guess in that case, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. The camera's gonna get hit for sure here. Good, mate, for stick footage though. That's all I care about here, stick footage, man. No idea the laws of like filming yourself while you drive. But anyway, today's video is, I'm gonna turn that off because that oxygen is annoying. And I'm gonna turn that off because we don't want to listen to the radio. On today's video, I'm heading obviously out to Kentlyn, the old local trail, to go ride my bike. But I like, you know, like, cause I understand like a lot of us are at home now. And you know, I feel like the majority of my viewers and the majority of the people that are watching this video, you know, might be interested in this topic. And that is going to be color grading GoPro footage. I originally was like to myself, I was like, oh yeah, I'm trying to make like a GoPro edit with like one of the GoPro apps. And I downloaded the apps and they are just irritating. Like, all of them just want to make the app, like they want to make your edit as quick as possible and like as short as possible. So that's not realistically what I'm about. Like, you know, like making mountain biking edits that go for a duration of time. So I scrapped that idea, and if that's something you guys would like, maybe like how I would use and make an edit on the GoPro Quick app or the GoPro app itself or whatever app it is, let me know down below. But today's video, I'm pretty much going to show you how I color grade my GoPro footage, which means I'm going to show you like my settings and what I use when I film with my GoPro. And then, you know, it's just going to realistically be some chest cam riding, and then it will be like a quick little video inside Premiere Pro, which is the editing app that I use, on how I get my GoPro footage to look the way it does. But yeah, so if that sounds like something that floats your boat, hang around, because that's what today's episode is going to be. And if not, I'm going to go ride my bike. I'm actually going to go ride somewhere new at Kentlyn as well, which is crazy because like that's so big and I've ridden there so many times, but yet there is so many trails I still have not ridden. So there's a certain trail I'm going to try to ride today. Yeah, hopefully it's a good time. Hopefully it's a good time. Chill. Oh, the other thing I just quickly wanted to mention as to why I'm making this video is because I understand a lot of you guys are now stuck at home or have a lot of spare time. And it's a perfect time to learn a new skill. So yeah, I know Adobe Premiere Pro does offer like free month subscriptions to like download and try it. So a perfect time to go back through all your GoPro footage and maybe color it and make it look a bit different. I'm fairly sure the trail that I'm wanting to ride is down. I'm fairly sure it's this trail here to the right here. I just want to double check because I haven't realistically been down on this trail before. Yeah, so it looks like this is the trail here. So we'll give it a crack. It's the rock garden. So anyway, I'll go for a bit of a pedal, and then I'll post up somewhere and I'll talk a little bit of settings and everything else, and more realistically just have fun riding. I do need new gloves. Look how shocking that is. So some new gloves would be fantastic. But for now, let's get some pedaling in. I have no idea what this track's gonna be like. Seeing as I've never realistically ridden it, so. Right, okay. Woo. I find it just so crazy. Feel like I've been riding here for so long, and yet I've never ridden here. Rock trail, Kentlyn. Right, yeah, oh my God. Surely this is not meant to be. What's going on? A climb? How the hell does someone climb up that? Alright, that was a bit of it. Oh, this is fun. Whew. A little bit of sunlight. Oh, it was looking like a pretty miserable afternoon. It's been a miserable day, realistically. Okay. This is definitely more of a lung buster. That looks like a roll or something. Should have my seat down for that. It's all marked out and stuff, which is cool. So to start things off, I'm really not resuming yet, Strava, chill. I'm always filming with a GoPro and a GoPro ND filter. They just do such an awesome job when it comes to blocking out the highlights, because I feel like GoPro always blows out its highlights. So you don't have to run ND filters, but they definitely do make a huge difference. So I use the Polar Pro cinematic ones. I'll link them. They are linked down below if you do want to go buy some. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that either. So that's my tip number one. My second tip is that you're gonna want to shoot with your GoPro in Super Tune or Pro Tune, I think it's called. So you do take full control of your GoPro and your camera settings. So I'm currently now shooting at, I think, 1/192 in my shutter speed. That's just so that it is fast enough that I still get a little bit of motion blur with the trees, but it's also fast enough that my bike stays reasonably tack sharp and focused, seeing as it is the main subject inside my frame. And then I'll have my ISO set anywhere from usually 100 min to 800 max. Just with the weather today, it's a little bit cloudy and gloomy, so I have it a bit higher than what I usually would. On a completely bluebird day, I'll leave it set at the max 100. The less ISO you have in an image, or sorry, your footage, the less grainy it will look. And then the last bit for my settings is that I'm shooting in a GoPro flat color. I feel that GoPro tends to just saturate everything. When I go into post, I like to choose which colors I like to saturate more than others. So from a camera's perspective, that's what I do in preparation for my color grade. And as always, I'm shooting super view, and I am shooting at 1080, 24 frames per second. And I've got that hyper smooth on, and I've got my chest strap as tight as possible. I also have, what is it? I think it's, what is it? Is it the, oh, and I also have my sharpness set to medium. I feel like high is a little bit too overdone, and I like to do a little bit more personally in post. It's big in post. But anyway, let's get back to doing this.
which has been super fun. And I've only rode for like 9 minutes and I'm absolutely sweating my body. So let's continue this, and yeah. Oh, also, I have my white balance set to like 500,000, whatever it is. The one that sort of, yeah, 500,000. Oh my God. Why would anyone want to do this? Oh. Yeah, I've got to set at 5,000 just because that's the white balance color that I like to use. It still gives you a little bit of blue, which is nice. This is very Camden Valley Trail-esque. Oh, Jesus. My wide handlebars definitely get me in a bit of strife here. How are you guys all doing in this Corona period of life? Are you still getting out riding? Are you still exercising? Exercise is one of the key ingredients of a strong mental health. Oh my God, I'm praying for a bucket. Alrighty, I have no idea. Oh, that was my dropper post into my willy. Oh. Let's do that again. Ride this properly. Wow, this is actually quite gnarly. That was fun. That was good. That would make for some sick photos. No fat guys. Oh, that must be me. Once again, I don't have my dropper post all the way down. Idiot. Absolute idiot. Oh. Holy shit. Oh my God. Whew. That's the first time I've ever gone off the hangers like that before. Whew. Anyway, I digress.
Yo, what's up guys? Currently back home. About to quickly jump in to my laptop. Just wanted to quickly point out, if you guys don't already follow me on Instagram, you probably would have known this, but my main laptop that I do edit with, my 2018 MacBook Pro, is currently getting serviced, so I'm doing this on an old 2011 MacBook Pro, so if the screen recording's a little bit how you going, it's because this guy's pretty old. So I'm probably not going to go in as depth as what I usually would if I had my normal laptop here, because I could obviously rely on it to respond quick enough. But yeah, so we'll just go over the quick basics and what I think is needed when color grading GoPro mountain biking footage. Yeah, so let's jump in. Alrighty, so just started my screen recording. So I'm going to show two clips. One clip from the ride from this video that I'm going to color grade, and then a clip from last video where it was nice and sunny, just to give a bit more variety. Now I use Premiere Pro, and this is my process. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the right process, and like color grading and creativity is down to the eye of the beholder. So this is just what I like to do, and I think it looks nice. So we'll open Premiere Pro up and we'll just watch these two clips to start off with. So it's just a come on, just give it a second. Come on, old girl. There we go. So this is just a clip. There's been no tweaks done to it whatsoever. Come on, man. I'm very sorry. And yeah, you can just see, because I've shot in a flat color grade, that it looks pretty flat. There's not really any pop and color to it. And then yeah, same. Obviously this is a completely different light. This was shot middle of the day and it was nice and sunny. And yeah, even with a flat color grade, it still has a little bit extra color, and that's just purely because of the amount of light that's in the image. So what we will do is create ourselves a adjustment layer. So new item, adjustment layer, yep, and then we will drag this adjustment layer, come on. We will drag this adjustment layer across, we'll do it across both clips just to save us time. And then we'll do C if you're on a Mac and you're using Adobe Premiere Pro, I'm not too sure about PC, and we'll cut that between the two clips. And then what you're going to do is you can either drop a lumetri color onto the adjustment layer or just open it up in your effects panel. Now what I like to do is pick obviously a scene where everything's pretty sharp. Obviously this is a bit harder because I was moving quite a fair bit. Which I also think I might change what I said about the shutter speed. I think if you were to shoot at GoPro's fastest shutter speed, I think you'd still get blur. I've never personally done it, but I'm going to be testing it over the next couple of times I go riding. But anyway, so this frame here is reasonably sharp. And what I'm going to start off with, and what I usually always start off with, is just going into my curves and putting 3 points on my shadows, my midtones, and my highlights. And usually what I like to do, depending on the weather, if it's obviously a lot sunnier, I'll obviously maybe not adjust the highlights too much because there's lots of light already. But on a day like today with the color, like where the light was pretty flat, I just want to bring some, some punch to my shadows, maybe even my midtones a little bit. And then because it is a little bit flat, I'm just going to bring those highlights up. And this sort of works with photography as well, and you just want a nice little gentle S-curve. And then after I do that, I'm going to come straight down to my HSL secondary. No, I lied to you, sorry. I'm going to come down to my color wheels match. And this is just going to give like an overall saturation to your shadows, your highlights, and your midtones. And so I'll just drag my shadows down a bit, and then maybe just a touch on my midtones, and then a little bit up on my highlights. And then that's going to be like my general basis of where I start. And because I ride with red gloves, which unfortunately I don't anymore because I bought new gloves, you can also go back into curve and come down to your hue versus sat, your hue versus hue. And this is where you can target individual colors to give them a little bit more pop. So for instance, if I wanted to do hue versus saturation and I wanted the red, you can either try pick it yourself, or you can just come up to this little droplet here, the color selector, click on the color, and it's going to bring it up inside. So I can make them look a lot more red and punch out a bit more just to make them a little bit more noticeable. And funnily enough, seeing as the sticker on my bike is red, it also does the exact same thing. And what I'm also going to do is come into the greens, and I'm just going to give the greens, I didn't really go where I wanted it to, but I'm just going to give the greens a little bit more saturation, and I'll come back up to the basic correction just to do a little bit of tweaking, not a hell of a lot. So I usually play with the contrast, get a little bit more contrast. And then I usually drop my highlights a little bit because I do think that GoPro naturally blows them out a little bit. Give my shadows a bit more pump, a little bit on the blacks. And then hopefully if my laptop can run, this is now what the clip looks like. And my laptop's having a very hard time. This thing's old, it's 9 years old. I put this thing through hell when I was younger, so it's credit that it's even alive to today. And yeah, that's like my basic color grading on a clip like that, or the clip from this video. It's not like a huge amount of work, but in my mind it's just what I like to do. And like I was saying in the beginning, I feel like GoPro just oversaturates everything, and I don't really like that look. Now we'll go on to the sunny clip. Now the beautiful thing about the sunny clip is that because there is obviously such a large amount of light, there's already enough color in my mind that I don't need to go too ham on this. But what I will do is drop my shadows, drop my midtones, and even maybe just slightly drop my highlights. What do I like here? And like I said, guys, this is all about experimenting and like just figuring out what you think looks best. Like when it comes to color grading, like obviously there's people with like LUTs and stuff like that, which is fantastic. But I don't know, play around with it yourself, find your style, find what you think looks good, and that's it. Like just, you know, everyone's got their own opinion on what they think looks good, and just find what you like and just do it, and don't really care what everyone else says. So yeah, pretty much the same concept, but because we do have some blues in here, we're gonna play with the blue a little bit, because you can obviously see the sky. I'm gonna come into the greens as well. Come into my greens, give them a little bit more oomph. And then as always, my gloves, just making those gloves stand out a little bit more just because we can. And then to finish things off, like I said, a basic, like just some contrast. And then what else am I gonna do? Probably pull the blacks. And I shouldn't realistically have to touch my exposure too much because obviously I do control my shutter speed when I ride, which is super important. But yeah, and now this clip is going to look something like this now, and it just looks, in my opinion, come on, load. Looks a lot better. But yeah, so that's going to be it for me today, guys. I think I will upload a video maybe like next week, just going over the GoPro more thoroughly when it comes to the settings. Like I know I did touch on a little bit here, but I'm going to go a little bit more in depth on the video settings and maybe make it its own video on its own, because this video is obviously a little bit long, and I think if I make like a short, quick version, it'll be better for you guys and for new viewers and stuff like that. But besides that, hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you'd like to. But besides that, I guess stay safe, keep riding, have a good time, have a good day. I don't know, like I'm getting lost, you know, in these COVID times, having to edit on a 2011 MacBook Pro that's slow as snails. It's actually surprisingly doing quite well for something of its age and how outdated I guess it is now. But yeah, besides all that, guys, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next Monday. Peace.
So, but my handlebars are definitely not straight anymore, and that's completely done, even though I didn't do all of it. Oh man, was not expecting that.